One. That was a great tune to start us off. Thank you, TokenSmart. The whole team is super excited to be here from Libernet, from WIPP Publishing. Thank you, everybody that's showed up. I think you're going to have a real great time and get some great info on, bringing books on chain. So without further ado, I would love to bring up Epic Dylan, Ascent OG, founder of Libernet and WIPP Publishing. So I think it's time to kick it off. Oh, we may have a little server.
Hey, here we
There
go.
he is.
Me taking off. How's it going, everybody? It's great to be here. I'm so excited. I just want to tell you guys, this has been a long time in the making. Me and Easy have been, going over this idea together for about a year. We started including some friends, and it's really helped a lot because there's just so many lovely people in this space, and they're just so smart, and they know the new technology so well. And really, I want to start by saying thank you to all of the people who have jumped in and helped out and made this whole thing possible. Here we are. We're launching a publishing company that's going to be created by writers using high tech solutions that didn't exist last year to empower the people who want to write books. It's just so beautiful. It makes me so happy just to be here and just to be able to introduce this project to you guys. Our whole thing at WIPP Publishing is that we want to help authors get the value that they already create. Our goal is to support the author, not the corporate hierarchy, not the bureaucracy, not even the publishing house necessarily. We're going to take a smaller cut to publish books than other people on the market today do. We're going to create books that are non-fungible tokens. They're going to have all of the properties that non-fungible tokens have. So it's going to be incredible. There are going to be so many just amazing writers coming in and doing so many different things that it's really even just going to take a long time to go through and introduce everybody. It's truly mind-boggling. I've never heard of another publishing company that launched with a graphic novel, a philosophy book, a sci-fi novella, an erotica book, a book about cryptocurrency, books in multiple different languages. None of this is possible in traditional publishing because they have to keep things narrow. They have to keep the doors shut. They have to keep too many people from coming in. But because if too many people come in, they don't have enough money to support everybody. But the thing is that blockchain technology changes what money is, and it makes a lot of new things possible. And so what we want to do here is we want to explore these new possibilities with the writers that have been disenfranchised by the old system. We want to do a lot of the things that, you've seen artists do, except for authors. And we want to help the authors retain a larger share of the value that they create and keep these pirates and these corporate raiders from skimming everything off the top, Can I get a name in there? I hope I can.
Amen.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Thomas Dylan Daniel. I'm the founder of the Libernet. I'm the founder of WIPP Publishing Company, where I serve as the CEO. The Libernet is a public utility blockchain. The WIPP Publishing Company is a private company that is designed to make profit, and it's designed to make that profit by creating the technology that we need to bring writers and authors and audiences, so everybody involved in literature, into the Web 3.0 era and do it right. So it's my pleasure to introduce my good friend and co-founder, David Noya. His handle is Bitcoin Pentium. David, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Hey guys, really a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for just be here and hear our story. First of all, just saying that I'm not English native, so sorry about my English. It's probably not perfect, but I tried to just explain what is this about. And let me just tell you a little bit of a story, because my adventure on Libernet started here on TokenSmart. I was talking with Daniel, the CEO of Polygonal Minds, and just talked to him that if there were a community in which I could just uh, throw my idea and see if people could just say or help me with it, because I had just the same idea as Dylan had in a totally different part of the world. So when I get here, I saw that was a books channel, so I went there, and the last message that was on that chat was from Dylan, and he was talking about making books NFTs. And that was the same thing I was thinking about when I wrote my book and publish it on Amazon. I was saying, okay, this is not good. I mean, there is a lot of revolution going on with all the NFTs on artists, and books deserve the same thing. And so I instantly messaged him, and here we are, just making the big announcement, trying to help other authors to be able to get control of their own publishing, and being able to just kind of make use of their creativity and all that, without having to worry about all the bureaucracy, and or if they're gonna just surpass the requisites that other publishings push them. And so we thought it's a little bit of a shame that we can do it on our own technology that we are doing, but we thought that we just have to start saying that books deserve the same treatment as other media on the blockchain, and they need the power of the blockchain there. So we would just wanted to show you all, guys, that books on chain can be done. It's a reality. We can do it already, but we can do it better with iterating on what we are already is here. And I just wanted to say lastly that this is not about selling some books and make authors make money in this case, because for example, in my case, I'm not gonna get any of the money. I don't want it. I just want to make it all for the bigger goal that we have here, that is making a platform in which everyone can do the same, and which a lot of other advantages. So yeah, even if you don't want the book, or you don't want to read the book, the books we publishing is going to publish. Just think that if you like literature, this is going to help a lot to make things better for all the books and ebooks. I mean, let's make the ebook a digital object, a digital asset, like a truly one, not that just text on a book, on a file. Let's make it like with all the advantages and powers of the blockchain. So that's what we want to do, what we want to do. And we have all the needed persons here. We have the artists, we have the authors, we have people that loves the technology and want to collaborate on the project, and also we have our own MC for an author to just navigate here and tell and just interview new authors and see the good stuff that's happening on the environment. And this is no other than Jimmy Riordan, and I will pass the mic to him.
Hello, guys. So first of all, can you hear me all right? This has been a
Sound
huge
great, Jim.
this has been a huge moment. I am so amazed at how many people have joined. This is absolutely fantastic. And I just want to thank everyone at Libernet for picking me up, especially Thomas, Dylan, and Daniel, who reached out to me a couple of months ago that had me on the project. And I'm in a very interesting position in that I'm not only the podcast host of the project, but I'm also having one of my books as one of the front-running books of the project, one of the first books to be released on the blockchain. I'm going to ask Easy to ask me some questions that he might want to know about my book, and then I'm going to take over and interview the first authors of that will be releasing their books as NFTs. And again, I cannot thank everyone enough for coming. I cannot thank the people at Libernet enough for working so hard. It's been inspirational seeing these guys work the last 2 months. So I'll pass it to Easy to ask me.
Yeah. It's really fun to be actually changing up our positions a little bit, and I get to ask you some questions because I have been on the LibernetLIVE, excuse me, and it's a great podcast. There's a bunch of really great episodes. In fact, Rizzle was also interviewed over there, so you know that's going to be good. The links are over in event links for all the authors, for the Twitters, for the YouTube. So make sure you go and check that out and follow over there. And yeah, Jim, so I would love to just get a little bit of your background, kind of how you found your love for writing, and maybe, if you expound a little bit on that. I know we don't have a lot of time, but a little bit of your background would be great to start with.
Fully aware of the time constraints. So my book is a philosophy book that a lot of the time discusses existence, and my background is when I write in the prologue. When I was a child, I was terrified of death. It was such immortality was such a horrifying notion for me, and this sort of continued into sort of about when I was 20 years old. And after dabbling with psychedelics too much, I fell into a psychosis that lasted quite a few years. This weirdly broke away from my sort of nihilistic ideas and made me realize just how sort of confused and sort of psychosistic so many of our notions with modern life and modern civilization and how we think about the world are together. It would be disingenuous for me to say that psychosis isn't an integral motivator for the book. And in terms of academic background, I studied a sociology degree for 4 years. I didn't pass with a degree in the end. I found the ways in which they taught far too narrow-minded, far too far too structured, far too unitary, and as a result, I sort of felt compelled. I think this was around since 2014. I've been compelled to write this book, and it was such a strange moment in November 2020 to have finished the book, and now not only less than 6 months later, I'm here with all of you listening. It's just fantastic. So
Very, very interesting. I am, uh, death is a very fascinating subject, and I think in our modern society, we've partially moved farther away from having a closer connection with it in a lot of cultures. So I'm excited for the book, definitely. And then I'd also love to hear a little bit how you found NFTs, and then what you think, the benefits of publishing with an NFT book will bring versus just going kind of the standard route and maybe having it available, on Amazon for Kindles and maybe in some brick and mortars as a physical publication.
absolutely. I mean, my sort of bad taste in my mouth for institutions and middlemen has gone back quite far. I mean, it might even go back as far as the education system completely. So, I was the process of finishing my book. I was in a very, very strange position where I knew that my next job was to look for all the literary agents in the UK and basically, I mean, it would be disingenuous. Disingenuous doesn't say I would be begging them to read my cover letter and give me a chance. And I noticed so many creators are stuck in those same institutions. Around the same time, I'm hearing rumors about Bitcoin and the growing blockchain world. And by February, I had heard so much, and I've realized that the incredible benefit that this can do for people as a tool to decentralize and democratize creative input and output and flow. That when Dylan reached out to me a couple of months ago, I just said to him, "I'm sold on this. I'm sold on the whole thing." And within then, he introduced me to the Libernet, introduced me to PizzaDAO, introduced me to this whole world, and I am astounded at the workflow, the positivity of all of this, and especially how much it can be seen to benefit people. It is truly we are at the prenatal stages of a revolution, I think, and we don't even know where it's going to go, which makes it all the more exciting.
Totally. Man, I am so excited and stoked that we have you on the team. And I love what you're doing with the interviews as well. I'm super excited about the book, and I think we've probably about used up our time slot. And so yeah, just thank you so much for sharing today with everybody here at TokenSmart. I know there's a lot of excitement in the crowd, and we I think all agree here that NFTs and blockchain and DAOs, this is the future, this is the revolution, this is the way.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure as well. Do you want me to take over and I can ask David about his book? I'm excited to
Yeah,
hear more about what it's
yeah,
about.
you take it, bro.
Thank you very much. Okay, so well, David is fantastic. When Dylan was talking about multiple languages, David is kind of our resident sort of writer that's written a book in Spanish, and the fact that we can do this internationally is just a testament to one of the great features of this. So, David, he said, please tell us about your sort of background with writing this this book about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, so my background is I'm a assistant administration, but that's my day job. The IT guy that is behind the scenes in a lot of things, and this is one of them. In the Libernet, I'm also now trying and in the WIPP to just try to get all the other crew to have what they need to work in all this. And so I love cryptocurrencies. I'm a CryptoPunk like every other of you, and the thing is that I got a lot of normies speaking or asking me questions, and the same questions all over again, and all with this bull market and the bull run and stuff. They started to ask more and more, even my acquaintances, my family, my friends. So with all these lockdowns and stuff, I thought, so how why don't I just write it, and then I don't have to get in this loop of explaining the same thing to everyone all the time. So yeah, I wrote a book about learning about cryptocurrencies. What is Bitcoin? How it works? What's the meaning? And what are the goals? And all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not revolutionary. The thing is, there are a lot of books about Bitcoin. I didn't do it just to get money from it, because that's not my main my main job. But I wanted as a personal goal to and to, because I really wanted to do it, and just to kind to apport any of what I know to other people, so they can start learning about this wave that is going to stay in any way or another. And a lot of people can't get into this world because of the language barrier. And for me, that was something that clicked into my mind, that kind of making some like quality content in Spanish, because all the good info and all the good content are in English. So people that don't speak English or don't understand English, they can't access to this content. So for me, blockchain is about communities, is about being open for everyone and permissionless. So for me, language barrier couldn't be an issue. So that's my way of trying to apport. And I even get a YouTube channel and stuff. I hype it out and say, okay, so I had some other things to tell to people. So why do I just do a YouTube channel? And yeah, and this led to Libernet and to WIPP. So I'm just out of my mind right now. It's really awesome, and I'm trying to help in whatever way I can.
I think this is what it's all about. I think, creating communities and dissolving borders. And speaking of communities, I believe that Robbie is with us, and we have his book that will be released on the publishing chain very soon. And he has written a book called How Not to Be a Dick, I believe. And I would love to hear about content and the purpose of the book and what convinced you to write it. We obviously spoke, you and me, Robbie, a significant amount on a podcast a few weeks ago about what you're about and your sort of experience as a New Yorker. I'd love to hear more about the book in detail. I'm sure everyone else would as well.
Yeah, Jim. Hi, everyone. It's super important to me. Like it's like my day job, but kind of like my life mission to hear stories from the fringes. I feel like in mainstream, big corporation run media, we always get like one image of society. And, from my own experiences at all levels of society, I'm like, man, these are stories about pain, loss, hurt, struggle, desperation, addiction, real life challenges that, people feel very, really alone in when you're going through it. And so in my writing, I try to like just use from my own, past and, the pain I've caused and the pain I've, been dealt, and kind of just make people less lonely. And you could do that in a way that I think invites people to feel like they're in community. And I think that's one of the things that resonates with me about all the work that we're doing here, is that it's human centric, even though it's technology driven. Yeah, that's sort of my goal. And I'm dropping 2 books, which is the cool thing. The other one is like sci-fi and like just my a story of a New York coder who like is both in the street and in trouble in whatever it is, day job.
Fantastic. And what got you involved in this whole in the NFT world and the crypto world? I'm sure.
I have
Go on.
Yeah, no, I have to blame it on Scent. Like it was the beginning of the rabbit hole, and then I saw some TokenSmart posts, and I got into crypto voxels and was like, oh my god, there's so much here. And this is the way, easy. Most definitely. I mean, for a creator, it feels like an open field. I can express myself. I'm dropping a video NFT tonight of a song written by my friend who's incarcerated, and like it's like all these possibilities are not even like what weren't conceivable a while ago. Yeah.
So recently, man. We also have Jillian Godsil. I believe that she's here, and she has written. It's a wonder. It seems to be a very interesting blend of both cryptocurrency and an erotica. I'd love to. I've done a bit of research on her book. I'd love to hear from her about what the content is and her background with writing that as well.
Jillian, you want to click the microphone icon, and that should unmute you. Jim, maybe what we should do is talk to Erick first, and then let Jillian talk a little bit later.
Okay, lovely. Okay, well, yeah. Erick is also one of the one of the family members of the Libernet. He is a very prolific artist, and he has written a comic book called Happy Man. I would love to hear from Erick's mouth, and for all of you to hear what this book is, what this comic book is about. Hi, Erick.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I coming through?
You are, and you sound lovely.
Nice. Thanks, Dylan. Hey, what's up, TokenSmart? We've talked before. Wow, there's a bunch of people in this room. But you guys want me to talk about Happy Man, right?
Jim, why don't you ask him the questions?
Yeah. So I'll ask again. So what? So yeah, you've written a comic book about it's called Happy Man. And I've heard quite a bit about it on the podcast we've done, but I'd love to hear you sort of have a large description about what the book is about, and afterwards perhaps what compelled you to write and create this comic book.
So I created Happy Man when I was 11 years old. Happy Man, I created him because I was really sad, and I wanted to create a character that was happy. Magmaster, what's up? Like what happened is I wanted to create a universe as an older person. I was like, I didn't know really how to start, but apparently I'd already started when I was 11. And so this book is the origin story of origin stories. It's how the author goes into the universe and becomes the character. And also, like, if there's a reflection there, like, it's kind of treacherous in that Tyler Durden sort of way to go into your characters. It's best to keep them out on page, but I don't know any way else to write.
I'm just incredibly intrigued to see both the artist style and the writing style and the writing content. It's going to be fantastic. Like the rest of us, what exactly compelled you to believe the NFT approach is the way to go, like all of us have?
Because someone told me in a really profound way that what's really important about these creations that we make as artists or as authors is the community aspect. And when I started when Dylan and I started talking again, we hadn't been talking for a while, like nothing bad happened. We just kind of lost touch. And then I started seeing the influx and the strength from the community coming through, and how excited people were about this new technology. And if the people are excited about it, that's what matters. And I felt responsible because I'd seen a lot of what currency was. I was like trading art, and I noticed that I got a lot better response from myself in my decision-making process when I'm not being corrupted by, government money with all this like history of genocide backing it. So I'm definitely all about different forms of currency and using my creations to fuel that. And to participate in the economy with like the raw data, and the goods.
Yes, I mean, I think we can all resonate with some of the things you just said about community and creativity and taking back control. We'll wait for Jillian to set her thing up if she hasn't already. But if she hasn't already,
Can you hear me? Can you
oh,
hear
we can
me?
hear you. We can hear you just
Yay! Woo!
Yay!
Hi, Jillian.
Hello, how are you? I'm so sorry. I have a thing about Discord. It just does my head in. And then for no reason, the thing was mute. Anyway, I'm obviously not mute anymore. Phew.
It can be a bit of a learning curve, Discord. It took me quite a bit to sort of work out how it all operated. It's can be quite a fun thing to get into. So I'll introduce I'll brief your book again. So you've written it's both a book about cryptocurrency and it's also an erotica. And reading your bio on the book was there's a lot in there, and I'd like to hear from your personal words what this book is about and what compelled you to write it.
Okay, well, I have to bring you back a few years, back to the financial crash. And I hit the financial crash in 2008 with divorce. Not a good idea. And I was utterly, utterly broke. And I thought, how am I going to fix myself now? So then I thought, because the biggest selling book shortly afterwards in the world was E.L. James' 50 Shades. And being a writer, I went, well, sure, I can write better than that. So I'm in the middle of the house has been taken by the banks. My business is collapsing, divorces, everything's going crazy in my world. Everything's going belly up. And I sat down and I wrote the first book. Originally, I called it the Cougar Diaries. Oh, I wonder why. And then so the idea was that I would sell enough of it to save my house. Didn't quite work first time around. And then in the interim, after going through all that financial crash, and it was very painful, of course. And I also became activated because, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Ireland, there was this narrative that somehow failing financially was a crime. It was people did bad things. I'm going, no, I just failed financially. I'm not ashamed of it. And increasingly, people were taking their own lives, especially men. So I just got very, very angry about this, and I ended up became very well known for being very broke. I had a big house, made a video to sell it. It went viral. I went viral. Banks refused consent for me to sell the house. They repossessed it, but I was left bankrupt. And then I brought the Irish government to the High Court because I said that my constitutional rights were being infringed because as a bankrupt, I wasn't allowed to run for public office. And I said the whole narrative about it's a failure, but it's not, it's not a bad thing that I did. So anyway, in the middle of all this, so I'm kind of going crazy. So I said I'd write the books, wrote the books, didn't achieve huge success. Went on, changed the law, ran in the European parliamentary elections in 2014. And then a few years later, not earlier, sadly, I discovered blockchain and Bitcoin. And I went, that's how I fix the world. I'm going like, this makes sense because I've been ranting and raving and trying to fix things. And we all know that the financial services are crap. They do not serve people anymore. It's a horrible world that we live in. So anyway, that's how I changed. Then I put in Bitcoin. So I said, now this is how I save the world and save myself and save my kids and perhaps earn enough to buy a little house for the horses, my children. That's my story.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. And yeah, I think you went over what got you into the crypto and blockchain world as well.
Oh, totally. All in. I'm all in. The last 5 years, I've been pre-COVID, I was traveling the world chairing, because I'm a journalist, chairing conferences, loving it, absolutely loving it. The last 8 months or so, I've been writing with Dylan in Crypto Writer. We were writing over on Voice, but with Crypto Writer, fantastic bunch of guys. Dylan's amazing. They're just, I loved writing with the guys there. So my life is all changed. It's brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jillian. And I believe our last, and definitely not least author, is Thomas Dylan Daniel himself. He has, if we look on the WIPpublishing.com, we can see not one, not two, but 3 books that Thomas Dylan Daniel has minted as NFTs. I think what
that haven't minted yet. We'll be minting in the near future. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Very shortly. Well, they're there to look at anyway. I think the book that you want to speak about the most, Dylan, is the Price of Bliss Eternal. Am I correct?
That's correct, Jim. Yes, sir.
So please tell us. I know it's a fiction story. I know it's a reasonably short story. I think me and everyone else listening would love to hear more about the Price of Bliss Eternal.
Oh man, thank you. Yes, I would love to tell you all about that story. That's one of my favorite stories I ever wrote. That's the only story I've ever written that the idea came to me and I wrote it down and I thought, you know what, this is really, really good. Usually I'm very, very self-critical when I write things, and I like to have fun and be kind of goofy sometimes, so it's not always super serious. But with the Price of Bliss Eternal, the way that things came together was a thing that I don't usually experience. It was very special. I remember texting my father and saying, hey, I just wrote a really good story. And then I sent that story to a literary magazine, and they liked it too, which never happens. I've been published all over the place. I've done all kinds of articles and scholarly things. And I'll tell you right now, one of the hardest things that you can ever do as a writer is publish fiction in a literary magazine. It doesn't pay a lot. It doesn't really get you a lot of publicity. It is a thing that we do as writers to sharpen our skills and to push the envelope, so to speak. And so that's what the Price of Bliss Eternal represents to me. In the story, what happens is you have a couple of scientists and they invent something that I don't think would actually work in real life. It involves time crystals. And so that's the little push. That's the slight change to the physics of the known universe that makes this fiction possible. But through that, we end up getting to see a situation in which these two characters loop. And in the loops, different things happen. And essentially what informed the fiction there is my study of quantum mechanics, which I used to professionally do. I was a director of research at a biotech company. So we had to learn a lot about particles and the way they interact with each other at the single particle level. And so I kind of applied some of that knowledge into this story. And I think that people really, really liked it. And then I worked with the editors to add a little bit of color to the characters and to actually extend the story a bit. So it went from short story status to novella status. It's the only novella that I've ever written, and I certainly couldn't have done it on my own. So the community in literature is actually significant, just like it is here in blockchain. And there's a lot of really helpful people out there that spend a lot of their time helping other people create, things that are a little bit better than they would have been otherwise. And so that's a community that we here at WIPP Publishing, and also at Libernet are interested in supporting, because they're great people. And so by launching this particular book as an NFT, it's my intention to show bewilderingstories.com, which is the magazine, that they can actually do that. And I want to help them. I want to create a business that is going to be able to go to these literary journals like Bewildering Stories, package their content as NFTs, limit the number of collectibles that are created, and also allow the authors to use these collectibles to earn money, despite the fact that the rest of the world can actually read their books for free.
Brilliant. Sounds like a brilliant rundown. I'm really excited to read that book as well as everyone else's. We have a little under 25 minutes left, and we actually went a lot faster than I expected. First of all, are there any authors that we've missed out?
Let's see. I do not believe there are, sir. I think we actually already got to everybody. We were running just very, very, very tight here. So I think the thing to do is actually probably going to be to open it up to the audience, and see if there are any questions.
Okay, well, shall we run down the books again? So there's my book, The Ecstasy of Nothing, a philosophy book about language, reality, and human freedom. We have Jillian Godsil's book, A Cryptocurrency Erotica. We have Erick Stow with his comic book, Happy Man. We have David with his Spanish book, Bitcoin Pendium, I believe. And lastly, we have Robbie with How Not to Be a Dick, a story about community and the tougher side of life. And then lastly, I think we have your book, The Price of Business. And I just want to say, Dylan's also got 2 other books that will be released as NFTs as well. They're both most likely going to be just as fantastic. So yeah, with those books in mind, those are the books. Questions.
If you like, I could say a few words about each of the other 2 books. They're fairly simple concepts. What do you think?
Just to let you guys know, we do, although we had, very professionally tightened our little time boxes up and everything, the Bully Meow show that normally airs at 11:30 isn't airing today. So no pressure on the time, guys. You can be writers. You can talk a bunch. Go for it.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm around for a while anyway.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
So, Dylan, please tell us a bit about both crypto and Bring Back Satire and the stories behind them and what they consist of. And then we'll go to questions.
Okay, I'm going to do what I usually do and start with Bring Back Satire. So Bring Back Satire is a book that was developed, and I say developed, I actually mean developed. It's more like, I've heard it reads a lot like a social media scroll, and I think that's good. I think that means that when I created it, I put the right amount of short stories, the right amount of poems, and the right amount of essays in there. And people seem to really like it, which I totally appreciate. But also, most of the content that's in it started off at Ascent as Ascent posts. And some of the folks here today, Easy and Robbie, among others, are people that I got to know due to their reactions from these stories that we put up over there and gave them all access to. So what I did was I collected all these posts and I arranged them in what I thought was a very nice way. It didn't work out very well once I ran it through Kindle. The print copies they weren't very good, so I've actually discontinued those as well. For now, I'm going to try to do it through Lulu. But this book has been minted to the Ethereum blockchain, to the Wax blockchain, and now also to the Matic blockchain. So during the show today, I've actually airdropped, I believe, 3 NFTs of Bring Back Satire to people in the audience. And I'm planning to do 2 more by the end of the show here. So by all means, get your ETH address ready and just reply to that message. And whoever's first, I'll go ahead and snag your address and shoot you one over. Because that's what Bring Back Satire is about. It's about engaging with the community. It's about exploring new technical ways to hand out literature. And really, with regard to the model that we're going to use for our upcoming launch, and that what I mean by that is that we'll actually be selling the books probably within a few days. We're going to do some more airdrops to the folks who got the POAPs today. So be sure to get one if you haven't already gotten one. Those are going to be valuable. But the whole thought with Bring Back Satire is that anybody in the world should be able to read it, right? But if you go and buy the NFT, what you're doing is actually something slightly different. You're making a small investment. The investment is in myself, in the technology that Bring Back Satire represents, and in the work itself. So the idea is that you approach it more like a collector. And as a writer, the thing that does for me is it allows me to focus far less on the volume of overall sales. It allows me to take down the paywall between the audience and the book, so I can just allow people to enjoy it as it is. And that's what's made it such a success. It's the community. So Bring Back Satire is sort of this rolling test bed that has allowed us to experiment on different blockchains and with different layouts and different structures for the content. If we move on to crypto, that's another book that sort of has a meta message for the readers and for other writers and for anyone who is looking to get into the NFT space. And what crypto is a collaboration between 4 people who are all here today. The first is myself. The second is Jim, our host. The third is Mr. Erick Stow, artist extraordinaire. And the fourth is Magmaster, which who you probably know from Magmaster's Sunday Confessions. And so we all collaborated to pull down all the articles that I wrote about crypto and related subjects for the past year, bound them together into a very nice book. And thanks to Mag, we can actually go online to a URL. Let's see, magnft.com/crypto. And so you can actually go get a paperback or a hardback there. And then when we do actually get the ability to sell tokens on OpenSea, we're going to make a big deal out of it on Twitter. So be sure to follow us there. And we're also going to do some spins using people's Ethereum addresses from the POAP launch. And so we'll be doing some airdropping, and you guys can get some free books for your participation here today, just because we understand how much the community matters, and we really want to be a rewarding project to engage with. So if you're in the audience and you've been writing a lot of blog posts about a certain particular subject, and you have a bunch of friends who you get tired of sending links to, perhaps, what we could talk about is potentially turning some of your posts into a book. And then that way the book is all in one place. But then we turn the book into an NFT, and now that place is on the blockchain as well as on IPFS. And then there is also another benefit, which is that it becomes free to read. So you can just send the PDF to people, and it works great. I've been doing it quite a bit. So that's a little bit more about Bring Back Satire and about crypto. But let's get the other writers back up here. I'm sure people have some questions for everybody.
Thanks so much, Dylan. I think, we'll just leave it to everyone else, and anyone can ask any question to any writer they like about the book. So it's on you now, guys. Yeah, go for it.
Magmaster here. Can I take the stage 2 seconds?
Hey, Mag. Yeah, welcome.
Hey, dude. First of all, my name should not even be mentioned. You guys have done such amazing work. What you did with Libernet, and now with the most awesome logo I've seen in a while, the WIPP Publishing. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to all your team, the guys, Eric and everybody else, man. Just congratulations. Just to let everybody know. So yeah, you can read it for free on magnft.com/crypto. Right now, you can buy it at a reasonable price for the soft cover. The hardcover is a little overpriced. I'm trying to fix that. It's just because of the quality of the it's because it's made more for a magazine, so it's over 300 pages. So the actual hardcover copy would cost over 200 US dollars. But the soft copy is less than $50, so you can get a soft copy version of of Dylan's crypto book, which I really recommend. And I will make it also, Dylan, if I think that's what you stated to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. But everybody will be able to download it directly from the website. Also, I will make the PDF available to download. So anybody that would want to download it, to view it on their ebooks or whatever, they'll be able to read it also.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. If anyone has a question, please just unmute and be shy. Just yeah. If there's any questions anyone has. Go for it.
You know what we didn't cover in this is, Dylan, what was the inspiration for WIPP publishing and Libernet?
Oh man, that's a good question, Eric. There were a lot. I could start by saying that last year somebody wanted to translate one of my books into another language, which as a writer was like a really, really flattering experience. It kind of blew me away. I was shocked by that. But due to international laws and the way the publishing industry is currently set up, I think the project fell through. I signed my name and said it was okay, and then I never heard another word about it. And so in the back of my mind ever since, I've been thinking, what if there had been a smart contract? What if we had been on a blockchain? And so the Libernet was founded as a way to sort of explore and find answers to some of those questions. And I think the answer at this point has been just a resounding, yes. Like, why isn't anyone else doing this? In fact, there are lots of other people doing this. And so we've made friends with them, and we're really just exploring the space and getting into it. And then we realize what we want to build isn't a company, right? It's a public utility. And so the Libernet DAO and the Libernet blockchain will eventually be for everyone. But it's very difficult to raise money and build a project around something that's going to be public because the investors never get to exit. So we had to come up with something else. And so what WIPP Publishing is founded and intended to do is to create the technology that writers need to mint NFTs of their books today and to successfully monetize such things and to earn a little bit of a profit by doing so, and to potentially get some equity investment so that we can get this thing started now in real time and not have to wait quite so much to start building the big project that we also want to build. So there's just a lot of different angles there. And basically WIP is a means to solving one of the hardest problems with regard to starting up a foundation like Libernet that doesn't intend to make a profit, which is how do you get that ball started? Well, if you can create a company that actually is intended to make profit and eventually potentially exit and everything, then I think you actually are able to approach things in a much more traditional way, and I think that'll benefit us a lot, because what it'll do is it'll speed up the process.
I have a quick question. We have David Bitcoin Pendium on here, who's like a blockchain guru, and like we haven't talked about the tech, but it's kind of really kind of cool. I was just wondering what innovations particularly make book publishing on chain possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so right now what we are using for work in progress publishing is not, as I said in the first chance I had, is not our own technology. We are trying to do that to make our own blockchain, in which is not only but dedicated to this use case. But now we are using the same as other NFTs are, like IPFS and the different blockchains like Matic and Ethereum and Wax and so on. But the thing is that we have already thought on a way to do it better, and this is what this is why this matters, because this could be the first step for something really bigger and more adapted to this use case. And trying to make the books actually use uh, the three features that the NFTs has, like proof of possession and means of access and digital scarcity. All three we could use them in the way we have already thought. So it's really interesting. But I want to, Dylan, to just ask you about the names, because probably people are just being confused at why is called like this, like WIP and why Libernet or Libernet. So tell us about this.
Okay, I could certainly speak to WIP. It stands for Work in Progress, and it was actually suggested by another partner of ours who didn't make it to this event, Alex Wyckoff. And his thought was that it was just a funny name and a good name and a name that represents what we're here for, which is developing new technologies to then help authors do better in the market. So it's going to be a work in progress the whole time we're doing it. We're never going to have it perfected. It's always going to be able to be a little bit better. Um, yeah, I see, Sandy. There's also been a WIPP meetup that Sentians and crypto voxelites have been up to on a weekly basis, which Easy is involved with for a long time, and so they're part of the inspiration here too. So it was just it started as a funny inside joke that I think brought us closer to the community, and I'm hoping that it's just the beginning of a really remarkable run of events that are about to start happening. With
Yeah,
regard to
and
Libernet, David, you actually kind of came up with that, didn't you? It in Spanish, the word for book is libro, and the word for free is libre. And so liber is a prefix that means both book and free, and net, I mean, it's like internet, right? So the idea is that it's the internet for free books. Just to unpack the etymology. Did I get that right, David?
I think both are perfect fits. And when Alex came up with WIPP Publishing, it was just so awesome because he's not been familiar with the WIP, the work in progress meetup that we've been doing for so long. And I just thought, oh my God, that is a great just kind of way to also honor the WIP, which is, some of the real OGs in the space from back in the day. And I wanted to also just mention, I threw a link in the event links from a podcast that's over a year old that I did with Epic Dylan back when I was doing the old Sent podcasts a window. So I dropped the link to the first episode, and we talked for so long. We had so much fun that we had to break it into a couple episodes. So if you want to get like a little kind of insight to back in the day when we were just like, throwing out ideas and, it just stuck and Dylan ran with it for the last year and put together this amazing team, that might give you a little bit of a fun listen to have a little bit of insights on what we were thinking and talking about a little over a year ago.
Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much, Easy. I've been looking for that link for like 3 days now.
Yeah, so as you said, Dylan, Libernet, that's the thing. I mean, liber is in Latin, and in Spanish, liber is libre and libero, and I really thought that was really funny that the words were really close to each other. In fact, in Latin, they are right the same. Liber is free and book. So it was really awesome because that's what we wanted to do, like liberate and the books on a network. So it came as fit Libernet. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect portmanteau in so many, and a meaning in so many different ways. I couldn't imagine a better name. Yeah.
and hopefully in a future we will not only liberate the books but other media. I mean, hoping, but the thing is, all starts with books, and we can just iterate from that. So that would be really cool.
Absolutely.
Straight up, man. Yeah, it's a work in progress, isn't it? Oh man, yeah. The really remarkable thing about all of this is that all the tools are already there to build sort of a quick and dirty version of this thing. And basically the argument behind the reason that we need to do WIPP and the reason we need to do it now is that we need to learn everything there is to know about the market. Because when we launch the Libernet, there is going to be a large amount of interest, and there are going to be a large number of authors that need to be able to get in there, and it needs to work. So we have to know where all the sticking points are going to be. And so we start working with, Matic, we start working with ETH, we start working with Wax. And eventually, when it's time to finish an actual blockchain of our own, assuming that we end up doing that, which, I mean, it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be very difficult to do. I think this is the team to make that happen. And I'm very, very excited to be finally kind of opening up about some of these plans a little bit. I don't want to go into too much detail on the Libernet side because the point right now is very much focused on WIPP. We want to make this one of the, premier publishing companies in the blockchain / NFT space. And we want to do that by providing a lot of value to the writers who come and trust us with their babies and with their work. And so basically the goal is just going to be to connect those folks with the audience that each one needs to find value in their writing career and from their written work.
Yeah, and trying to lower the tech overload that can be a barrier to this kind of people. We will try to reach not only tech people, tech savvy people, but trying to reach authors that they know about blockchain and they know something about it, but they are not quite there yet to be able to just publish something as an NFT. So we're gonna help them just to just show them that this is a good way to go.
That's right. That's right. Well, everyone, it looks like we're getting down to about 3 minutes left. Jim, would you like to go ahead and contribute final thoughts? Is there anything else that we need to talk through right quick?
I just wanted to mention that I believe we're going to do a similar thing very soon. I'm not entirely sure on when and how, but we want to make a sort of close interview with the authors, potentially like a regular thing in some way. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what we'll do is hope our aspirations is our catalog of writers that want to be on the project only going to grow and grow. I mean, I'm already speaking to people that I live in the same town with and say, like, you're writing a book, you haven't had the opportunity that you've deserved. Well, we have something in store for you. So this is like, so what we intend to do is we're going to, I'm going to be the host. I'm going to sit down with the author. Maybe one day someone will sit down with me and we will just discuss the book. We will discuss the themes of the book, why they wrote it in much detail. It'll be like a sort of on the couch session, and perhaps each week we'll dedicate to each writer. This is a sort of a work in progress plan for what we're going to do with the whole thing. So and that is of course going, it's going to be completely welcomed with people participating, people listening, and the whole point of this is to communitize and to break down barriers and to have writers like us and readers like you guys get the benefit from that. So that's all I have to really say. I'll just close up with 1 minute remaining to say thank you so much for everyone that has joined. I'm flabbergasted by how many people have turned up. I did not expect that. And thanks to the team at Libernet. Thanks Dylan, Easy, David, Eric, Rob, and thanks to the writers, Jillian as well. I'm just flabbergasted. This is a pivotal moment in what we've been trying to do well, you know, and for these guys, a long time. So thanks everyone for coming. Are there any final questions or words before we wrap this up?
Well,
I suppose go
I
ahead, Easy.
would just love to say, anybody here, you know, if you have interest in maybe writing, or you've done a little, you know, playing around in the past, now's the time to pick back up that pen. Reach out to any of the team at Libernet and at WIPP Publishing with any questions. Feel free to hop over to the Discord. I've dropped the link here, as well as an event link, so you can find our Twitter and Discord and the YouTube, where Jim does the awesome interviews with, you know, team members, other people in the community, more upcoming with the authors, in-depth, you know, getting deep into kind of, you know, the essence of you know, why people are writing, where those passions come from, and trying to share that. So, you know, the blockchain and NFTs, and especially places like right here in TokenSmart, give us this ability to connect more and to form these deeper relationships. And that just, I think, adds value. So, you know, you got a friend that wrote a book, or maybe didn't get published and was working on something, you know, just reach out or shoot them over. We're really excited to be working with the community and to try and build this together to bring the benefits of blockchain and NFTs to, you know, the whole world of literature. So, you know, maybe you write scientific papers, maybe you write, you know, comedy, maybe you write fantasy or sci-fi. I'm still waiting for that choose your own adventure NFT, where a bunch of different authors write different endings and you can choose those different paths. And so, you know, I think there's a lot of excitement to come. I'm really stoked that we get to have this place to connect with you all here in TokenSmart, and we'll definitely be doing more of these. So we hope to see you at the next ones as well. And I think that's about it from me.
Okay, we're open books.
Awesome. I have two more shout outs. The first, if you haven't followed us on Twitter yet, that's one of the fastest ways to get in touch with us. Our handle there is at WIP Publishing. So WIP Publishing on Twitter is how you get a hold of us. I also have a link that I will drop to our website, which our good friend Phil is working on right now, and trying to get that up for you guys as soon as possible. That link is right here. So WIPpublishing.com is how you get there. So everybody, please come scope it out. What's going on right now is we are waiting for Matic and OpenSea to allow us to list tokens for sale. Once that happens, we're going to make some noise. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you're all going to be there for it.
Thanks so much, everyone. It's been great.
Thank you for being here. Really, thank you.
Thank you for helping me get on. Discord and I are now best of friends.
Awesome. Learning new technology.
I've been on Discord for years, just badly.
Thank you, everybody.
Until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace, love, and whipsy.
Outro Libernet theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm still
dun.
working on that. I'm still working on the theme. I'm conjuring stuff up in my head. We'll see what happens. That's great. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Libernet is off the ground. Thank you, everybody, for coming around. It's Whipsy. WIPP Publishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that. That was amazing.